If you're a Fairly Odd Parents fan, you're gonna love this. Get ready to find out the most inappropriate episodes from this hit Nickelodeon show. Number 1 is definitely the most jaw-dropping, so stick around to the end to see it for yourself. If Timmy were here right now, he would definitely wish for you to subscribe to this channel and like this video. So grant his wish already. And let's get on with the 10 Fairly Odd Parents episodes that weren't for kids. Hide My Parents and My Nuts. No one loves a good double entendre more than we do, but this episode takes this to a whole new level. In the episode titled Meet the Odd Parents, Timmy's parents find out that Timmy has fairy godparents named Wanda and Cosmo. They are actually pretty cool about it. Timmy's mom offers to make the fairies some brownies and lemonade. Since they are magical fairies, they make brownies and lemonade instantly appear with a wave of their wands. Timmy's parents enjoy lemonade and brownies with Timmy's fairy godparents. But Timmy's dad says he prefers nuts in his treats. Cosmo agrees and adds nuts. The only problem is, according to the fairy rulebook named Da Rules, if anyone finds out that Timmy has these fairy godparents, a fairy named Jorgen will come and take them away. When they find out Jorgen is coming to lay down the fairy law, Timmy tells Wanda and Cosmo to hide his parents. Timmy yells, "Hide my parents!" Then Timmy's dad yells, "And my nuts!" He is talking about the nuts in the lemonade and the brownies, right? This episode is loaded with enough nut jokes to make a squirrel laugh for days. Luckily, this joke will go over the heads of the younger viewers. Vandalism, playing hooky, and disrespecting the law. In the episode Go Young West Man, Timmy and Cat Kid, played by Adam West, ditch school to go to the arcade and the ice cream parlor. If you're a parent trying to keep your kids from skipping class, you may want to skip this episode. To make matters worse, Timmy and Cat Kid TP Mr. Crocker's house. That's right, they cover the house in toilet paper. Hey kids, if you're into truancy and vandalism, this is the show for you. And let's not forget a general disrespect for authority figures like Truant Officer Shallow Grave, who is portrayed as a scary one-eyed villain with a claw for a hand. Timmy tries to get his fairy godparents to hit this officer of the government with a train, a bus, or a car. Wanda and Cosmo quickly scan the rules in the book called Da Rules that they must follow when granting wishes. As it turns out, Da Rules say they aren't allowed to grant Timmy's wish to commit vehicular manslaughter, so they say no. But clever Timmy finally gets them to agree with his truant Officer Shallow Grave with a clown on a unicycle. Isn't that funny? Yes, it's absolutely hilarious. Is it appropriate for children? Probably not. Timmy's dad admits his dreams were shattered when he had Timmy. Most parents find the birth of their children to be a dream come true, but that's not the case with Timmy's parents. Anyone who watches the show can see that Timmy's parents are neglectful, and they often make jokes at Timmy's expense. So it's not out of character for Timmy's dad to admit that his dreams were shattered when Timmy was born. In this episode, Timmy sees his mother's hope chest. It's covered in cobwebs and dust. On top of the hope chest is a little blue box. When Timmy asks what it is, Dad replies, "That's my tiny box of dreams." The box slips out of Timmy's hands and shatters on the floor. He immediately apologizes. Timmy's dad says, "Oh, don't worry about it, Timmy. My dreams were shattered years ago." Timmy asks, "How many years ago?" His dad replies with, "How old are you?" This joke implies that Timmy destroyed his mother and father's hopes and dreams the day he was born. That'll be a few $1,000s in therapy one day. Yay, psychological abuse! Kids watching this episode will learn the age-old skill of cutting remarks and cruel jokes. Good times. Are you bad parents? In Poof's Playdate, Timmy's parents watch the Dr. Bill show, in which Dr. Bill gives the Are You Bad Parents quiz. Meanwhile, Timmy is throwing a pancake party for Poof. He invites the fairies from Fairyland to come, but decides it would be more fun for Poof if he wishes they were all babies. Needless to say, fairy babies can get pretty messy. There are massive amounts of pancake syrup and other substances all over Timmy's room, and Timmy gets no help from his baby fairy godparents. So this is one mess Timmy has to clean up himself. Back to Dr. Bill's parent test. Dr. Bill asks, "Does your despondent child say, 'I'm busy a lot'?" Right away, Timmy runs through the house and yells, "I'm busy!" Then Dr. Bill asks, "Do they use a lot of paper towels? Spend too much time alone in their rooms and say, 'Don't bother me'?" Then Timmy runs in and says, "I'm just gonna take these paper towels up to my room alone, so don't bother me." If you don't get how this joke is inappropriate for kids, then you've never heard of a pubescent teenage boy. But hey, at least he's cleaning up after himself, right? Timmy's fairy godparents make mean jokes at Timmy's expense. This kid can catch a break. First, he's got neglectful parents and an abusive babysitter, and now even his fairy godparents are making mean jokes at Timmy's expense. Sure, the kid is far from perfect. He could use even one of his wishes to cure cancer or even world hunger, and instead he wishes for accordion-playing dinosaurs. But he still deserves a bit of kindness, doesn't he? In the Fairly OddParents episode titled Superbike, Timmy's dad makes him a bike for the annual Dimsdale father-son bike race. Let's just say this bike is interesting. No surprise here, Timmy's dad routinely disappoints his son. But imagine our surprise when Wanda and Cosmo take a crack at Timmy's self-worth with this humdinger. Timmy says the bike stinks and that he needs a bike that's as cool as he is. To which Cosmo replies, "Timmy, this bike is as cool as you are." Ouch. Not cool. It's certainly not the best thing in the world for children to watch parental figures chip away at a kid's self-worth. Not to worry, children. Timmy can just wish for more self-esteem, right? Tom Sawyer takes over the galaxy. In this episode, Timmy wishes for Tom Sawyer out of his book so he can help him write a book report. Much to everyone's surprise, Tom steals Cosmo's wand and causes major chaos in the literary universe. Timmy, Wanda, and Cosmo chase Tom through book after book until they wind up in Astrophysics for Morons. Wanda and Cosmo realize the severity of the situation when Timmy explains all of the dreadful consequences that could result from Tom taking over the galaxy. Timmy explains that Tom could turn gravity into gravy and turn all the planets into plants. Wanda concludes that Tom could turn Uranus into, oh my gosh, we've got to stop him. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen, the 1 billionth time a Uranus joke has been told. This calls for a celebration. Seriously though, we feel for this planet whose name is widely mocked and ridiculed. It must feel terrible to be the butt of all the jokes. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, 1 billion and 1 Uranus jokes. We wish we had prepared a speech. Any kid who has studied the solar system in school has giggled when the planet is called out by name, but it's still another example of juvenile and inappropriate humor. Cosmo gets plastic surgery. In the episode titled, This Is Your Wish, Cosmo's mother played all the ways her son has messed up Timmy's wishes in an attempt to get Cosmo to move back home with her. She replays a clip of Cosmo saving Timmy from a train, only to leave him tied up to a portion of the tracks that are sinking in quicksand. She goes on to show Cosmo giving Timmy a big hungry spider, when what he really wished for was a big glass of cider. When Timmy wishes for a lawnmower, Cosmo conjures up a flamethrower and toasts Wanda with it. But perhaps the biggest flub of Cosmo's journey was when he gave himself plastic surgery. Timmy falls on the floor laughing while Cosmo declares that he is keeping the new figure. This joke is clearly not geared toward children who probably don't even know what plastic surgery is. But a knocker joke? In a kid's cartoon? How did they get away with that one? Way to slip that one by the censors, guys. We're with Timmy. That's got us ROFL. You know, rolling on the floor laughing? Nice figure, Cosmo. We think you should keep them too. Camping with Timmy's father. What could go wrong? So by now, we all get that Timmy's father is not the best dad in the world. But they may take that joke a bit too far with this episode. Timmy's dad wants to take Timmy on a camping trip to Fault Line National Park. Timmy expresses his concern to his fairy godparents that every time his dad takes he and his friends camping, he always puts them in terrible danger. The poster alone for the destination campground is downright disturbing. It features an erupting volcano and campers running away screaming in horror. He also tells Timmy to worry about the vicious inbred mountain men rather than the earthquakes. Cue the nightmares, kiddos! But do the inappropriate jokes stop there? Oh no. And if all that wasn't bad enough, good old dad makes a joke that's in pretty poor taste, even for this show. He says, if I drive a group of boys to the movies in this outfit, they'll arrest me. We just hope this joke went the way of the smoke from that threatening volcano and flew over kids' heads. This cartoon is intended for children, isn't it? Okay, just checking. Cyberbullying and inappropriate internet videos. So this episode is pretty odd, even by Fairly OddParents standards. Timmy tries to send an email to his love interest, Trixie, but the fairy godparents encourage Timmy to be less mushy and more threatening. Cosmo takes over Timmy's email and writes, Dear Trixie, we have your parents. If you ever want to see them again, that's one heck of a message to send to young people. If you like a girl, just threaten her and she will be all yours. Seriously, kids? That's not a good idea. And to make matters worse, Timmy's parents double down on this off-color joke by saying that's how Timmy's dad met his mother. And then they laugh and laugh and laugh. as if dating weren't confusing enough. Then at the end of the episode, Timmy's dad walks in and sees Mr. Crocker in a dress on Timmy's computer. He makes another knee-slapping joke. He says, "Timmy, you're not supposed to be on those kinds of websites." When Timmy explains that is his teacher, his dad says the dress does make Mr. Crocker look pretty. While joking about websites that are unsuitable for children, it's important to button it up with a nice compliment. You had us at pretty. And red is definitely Mr. Crocker's color. Cosmo's Cha-Chas. In the episode Anchors Away, Cosmo is wearing a hoop skirt in the desert. When Wanda criticizes him for it, he defends his odd fashion choice by saying, "It compliments my cha-chas." He then pulls out a pair of maracas and shakes them, but we know what he really meant. Later, when a fox attacks Cosmo, he says, "I probably shouldn't have filled my cha-chas with meat." This surely had all the teenagers in the land snickering. How do they get away with this stuff? But perhaps the most blatant of the cha-cha jokes was the one where Timmy, Cosmo, Wanda, and Poof take a journey to the outskirts of town. This episode is all about the clever play on words. For example, when Timmy says he loves the outskirts of town, Cosmo, who is now donning a pink skirt, replies, "Yeah, they sell the best skirts out here. Can we go to the outboxer shorts of town next? Because I'm totally flying all fresco under my skirt." Now, we all know that all fresco means out in the fresh air, so thanks for the TMI, Cosmo. I'm sure all kids everywhere wanted to know if your beans were blowing in the breeze. That's it for our 10 Fairly OddParents episodes that weren't for kids. We hope you had as many laughs as we did. What was your favorite inappropriate moment? Be sure to comment below. Later, dudes.